Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Standing on business.
Standing on business.
Stand on business.
What's up, brownies? This is a neurodivergent rant. You already know what it is. I'm jumping straight into the mess. Al, you have a lawsuit coming from me for your partner, Sean, to get on the internet and complain about how you had this brilliant idea for the court of public opinion and Claudia tried to steal it from you and present it to Fox Soul without you. They shut your idea down, and that's why you are now doing it on your own YouTube channel. Doesn't matter if they picked it up or not. The fact that you're doing this on your YouTube channel and you stole this idea from me is the reason why I am suing you. Thank goodness I still have the video up from May of last year when I was talking about Iyanla and Ebony K. Williams and the bus driver, and this was one of the graphics in it. This is my only proof that I still have to show that the court of public opinion idea was mine, because I deleted the live stream where I was asking people, did they want to join me on a show? So hopefully this is still going to be enough to hold up in court when I sue you. No, I'm just joking. I'm not suing Al Reynolds. And I still might do this idea because there's nothing new under the sun. And I was going to put my own little spin on it anyway. But the real point of this video is to defend Joyce Coleman Sampson, whose name is being dragged through the mud right now via these out of context leaked Zoom calls that conveniently tell just a part of the story that you want told. So that you all can blame upper management or blame the producer instead of the talent on the show, which is the actual root cause of the demise. I want you all to pay attention to something. Every time you black crabs have a problem, instead of owning your part in it, you find the nearest dark-skinned black woman to throw under a bus and make the sacrificial lamb. I'm not going for it this time. I told you all the way back in the Escape series that I did at the beginning of last year when I first became a content creator. Every time you see a black person in a position of power, what you don't see is that the wizard behind the curtain and the people who really make the decisions is going to be a group of white and or Jewish men that have all of the power. If Joyce had the decision-making power to get rid of problematic people off that show, then all four of you would have been fired at some point in time, and it would have been a total recast. What we're not going to do is blame Joyce for this, because her resume speaks for itself. And not only does she have a well over 30-year career, not only has she worked for just about every network that you can name, but she's worked for real talk shows before. I'm talking like Montel Williams, Sally Jesse Raphael, Donahue, Queen Latifah show. Doesn't matter. The point being, real talk shows that lasted years that were on real network television, not this ghetto streaming mess, okay? And that's outside of the at least 2 Emmys that she's won. So we're not taking away a black woman's entire resume and her whole career for some out of context videos. We're a bit smarter than that, and we know what the problem is. The problem is you all continuing to play into the automatic hierarchy that exists in this country that I've talked about in several videos. So with a combination of patriarchy, racism, and colorism, black women, especially if you're dark skinned, sit at the very bottom of a social construct, and we are the most disrespected, unprotected, most neglected, have the least resources, and all of the other things. And on top of that, we are the last ones hired, first ones fired. And if you do get a promotion, it's not only long overdue, but it's never going to come with the full salary and respect that that title is supposed to carry. Okay? So this is what Joyce is going through. So all your Zoom meetings did was prove the truth that we already know, which is that Al and Claudia are the problem and the root cause of this. So to try to show the whole part where Al is saying, well, Joyce, why in your show notes did you say that Al Reynolds is doing too much as usual? For the stuff that you all say on that show, you want us to believe that you're that sensitive and this is what you're mad about, Al? Or Claudia trying to berate Joyce for not telling all of the backbiting and unprofessional and below the belt things that everybody said about everybody. She's not supposed to. For them trying to bring Justin in it to attack Joyce, by saying, you didn't tell me the part about Al saying that I'm trying to make the show too gay. That's an LGBTQ infighting issue. That's not for Joyce to solve. So instead of trying to blame Joyce for taking sides or not handling Al, realize this, that if she had the authority to get rid of you all of you would be gone, and it would be a total and complete recast, because all of you are problematic at some point. But the real problem is Fox Soul as a network and their disrespect and exclusion of a certain type of black woman. And since I already made a full video about this, get into the flashback. But I am curious, for all of the people who swear that Funky Dineva is anti-black woman, if you are still supporting Fox Soul, how do you feel about the black womanhood representation on that network? Because Biracial Claudia has had multiple shows at one time on that network, and that's fine. But if they were the FUBU of networks like they claim, why do you not see more regular standard issue black women on that network like Quad, who should have been a natural replacement for Funky Dineva? So my question is, how many regular standard issue black women, darker than a paper bag, non-immigrant, non-LGBTQ, and not partnered non-black, do you see on that network? At some point in time, we are going to have the uncomfortable conversation about the black tax and the cost of being regular black in this country, and how it is perceived as being unpalatable or unprofitable, and thus it is rarely ever chosen to be at the forefront or spearhead something, period. And that's if it's chosen at all for anything in this country. In its regular form, American blackness is 2 black parents, 4 black grandparents. When you trace American blackness back, its lineage, it will be traced back to, and you can't say real words or they'll demonetize it or the algorithm won't promote it. It can be traced back to that group of chattel that built this country for free and has been paying the black tax for the entirety of its existence in this country. Anything else other than that, regular black with the lineage attached to it, you are going to have a different lived experience in this country because you didn't have to pay the entirety of the punishment from the very beginning, generationally, right? We're talking about lineage, not talking about what is perceived black based on looks. On top of that, all you have to do to move yourself closer to the front of the line, if you're black and you need to be chosen for a position, here are the things that you can do. First and foremost, if you are black light, black mixed, black and, black plus, black barely, black halfway, any of those things, that's going to push you to the front. Because whether people want to admit it or not, colorism is a real thing. Then from there, if you can bring in another checked box with you, you're going to have to be black immigrant, partnered non-black, or if you can be black and LGBTQ too, that's definitely going to move you to the front of the line. It's black voices talking about black topics that affect the black community. At least a fourth of your network should be able to be regular black women, meaning you shouldn't have to be immigrant born, you shouldn't have to be LGBTQ, you shouldn't have to be partnered non-black, meaning blackness in a state that creates more blackness from blackness. That shouldn't be that difficult. It should actually be a default setting. But what I want you to do is go look at the Fox Soul lineup of all of their different shows and tell me the name of the one that is led, spearheaded, or it's your own show by an American-born black woman that is darker than a paper bag, that is non-immigrant, non-LGBTQ, and not partnered non-black. At best, you'll be able to find one of these people as a part of an ensemble cast. Now, I've often said, it seems to me that people would rather support a black man in a wig and nails and lipstick cosplaying as a black woman while playing up every negative stereotype of black womanhood than you would support a regular standard issue black woman, right? Playing herself, but just not doing the terrible representation. So for those of you who would give pushback on that, I want you to go and check out those men. Not saying that I hate them or anything. I'm just simply making a point and stating facts. Look at how large their following is compared to your regular standard issue black woman. And then also, I want you to consider the fact that more often than not in the news, when you see these images or you hear these stories about somebody that is a part of the authorities, when they go to handcuffing and manhandling and injuring in the process these young black girls, tell me what they look like most often. Do they look like the biracial representation that we have? Do they look like the women that you see, not just on Fox Soul, not even singling them out? This is the media in general. You don't see regular standard issue black women represented in a positive light. And thus, when you see one being disrespected in the news, what do they look like? What are they a reflection of? Furthermore, when you see these images, you'll also notice 9 times out of 10, nobody is coming to their rescue. No one's coming to their aid. They're devalued. And if I'm just reaching and, folks love to act like colorism isn't real. This is global. It applies to every ethnicity, nationality, whatever. But when a black person mentions this to the black community, that your anti-blackness is actually so internalized that it's a default setting and you don't even realize that you're this way. It's a part of your programming. You all get to pulling insults out of the air. Oh, no, you're just probably ugly, or you're just probably child, whatever. My elevator didn't go down to that floor. Listen, it's a real thing. It has been studied. It has been proven. The doll test has been running for decades now. And I want you to ask yourself, why is it and how is it that you can sit a group full of children between the ages of like 3 and 7 who aren't being taught these things at home, and every time they're asked to choose, which little girl is bad, which little girl is dumb, it'll be the darkest in the bunch, even if it is the darkest girl in the bunch that's being asked the question. Falling your way, so you